Fortunate enough over the last few years to build a handful of different successful businesses and help numerous different business owners do the same. And throughout that process, there's four main problems that I've pinpointed that keep business owners stuck and keep them poor and stop them from earning more money. Now, the first one is leverage. I think a lot of business owners, when we first start a business, maybe we come from a place of not initially having loads of cash flow. When we start making some money, in our head, we feel like we need to just hold on to all of this money and we need to save all of this money. But when we hold on to all of this money and save all of this money, we then don't build any leverage. And leverage is the thing that allows us to make more money, because otherwise, we have to work more in order to make more, but working more doesn't necessarily have a direct correlation to earning us more money. So what we need to look at is, instead of money just sitting in our bank account once we start making sales, we need to look at using that for leverage to then make us more money without us having to do the workload. Because in business, if something requires us to always have to do something to make more money, then in my opinion, we don't have a business. We probably have a job that's a glorified job that pays us well. So when we start making money, we want to look at doing three things. We want to look at automating first and investing into systems to win us back time. We then want to look at eliminating tasks second and actually auditing our week and figuring out, is that actually going to make us more money? And then lastly, we want to look at delegating. We want to look at hiring staff members to do the workload for us so we can actually take time off. That's how we build leverage. And when we build leverage, it means that we can grow far quicker, because if you look at your competitors and wonder how they get so much done in their business moves so quickly, it's because they use money to build more leverage. The next problem that a lot of business owners face is that they chase more leads. If you ask any business owner what their main problem is and why they're not making double, triple, or even quadruple the amount of money that they are right now, I guarantee you the majority will say, well, I just don't have enough leads. Those that say that they don't have enough leads probably don't have a lead issue. They probably have another issue that they've not quite pinpointed yet, so they're not able to fix the root cause. Instead, if we look at a business subjectively, you probably have a far deeper level than a far deeper issue than just more leads. You might have a Shura issue, you might have a setting issue, you might have a closing issue, you might have a follow-up issue. A lot of business owners, if they can't convert 100 leads, they have no right getting 1,000 leads, because they're paying more money to get more leads, only for more leads to essentially be lost in what's known as a leaky bucket. Most businesses you can look at as a bucket, and that bucket has holes in. Every lead that comes in, there's a handful that trickle out, and if we plug that bucket, it means that we can spend less on ads and get more money, because leads aren't just trickling out in the first place. Third issue that we need to look at is a follow-up system. There's numerous different pieces of data that show more and more now leads are needing more and more touch points. Potentially things that leads would purchase after a couple touch points a few years ago, they're needing more and more touch points now, because there's even less trust in the market. And when we look at doing this on a big scale, it's next to impossible to do all of this manually. That's where automations and systems come into play. But a big thing is there's numerous different data points, especially with cold traffic, that leads need 8 to 50 plus touch points in order to get them to purchase from us. And if we're having to do all of that manually ourselves, that's not scalable in the slightest. Either you need to work more to follow up more, or you just need to build a system to follow up with them. Very simple softwares that you can use to do this. We have an all-in-one CRM software, but you can use things like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign. You can even use softwares called like Wati to automate WhatsApp follow-up sequences. You can even use softwares like Vapi to automate phone calling systems. The whole point with this is, if you can build systems that will follow up with your leads for you, it will mean that you can start working significantly less amounts of time and sign more clients, because leads are having numerous touch points. And if they're having numerous touch points, it means you can probably spend less on ads, because you're getting more leads for the money that you're putting in. The last point to look at is, how are you actually operating day to day? I think a lot of business owners, when we start a business, we're in this sort of flight or fight scenario where we just take on everything. We do everything, we do every role, we build every system, we follow up with every lead, we take every call, we do it all. And we can then get stuck in that mindset. And when we're stuck in that mindset, it's a risky place to be, because it means that you're then ultimately capping your growth. If we look at you as a business owner, what should you be doing? Well, you should be looking at yourself as a CEO. And I think it's often a little bit hard to look at ourselves as a CEO when we're running a company only with a couple maybe staff members, or maybe it's just us. And I think it's hard to look at that and think, well, I'm a CEO, I need to operate like that, because in your head you're like, CEOs are only part of big companies. Well, in my opinion, we need to start running the business in the way that we want it to be long term. Maybe we don't have loads of staff members now, maybe we don't have a big corporation, but if we do want to build a big company, we have to start running the company like that. So when we look at the tasks that we're taking on, we don't want to take on everything ourselves. If we have to take everything on ourselves and do everything ourselves, then that's not scalable. The CEO shouldn't be stuck in any task forever. But I do think a lot of business owners, they really should take on tasks initially because they'll learn how to do it. If they learn how to do it, it means that they can delegate it better, they can offload it better, and then they can get staff members more trained up. If we're taking on tasks that we don't really know how to do, and then we're just saying to a staff member, do it, you then have no way of training that staff member and improving that staff member because you don't know how to do it yourself. And I think as a business owner, as a CEO, you need to have a level of understanding as to how things should be done, because you can pull people up on it, you can improve things, and you can train staff members. But long term, as a business owner, you shouldn't be stuck doing everything yourself. You need to document as you go, because it then means you can delegate quicker. A lot of business owners, they'll get to a point of thinking, right now I need to delegate, but then they have no systems in order to delegate and they've not documented anything. So then they need months and months more to start documenting. Instead, if you document as you go, it then means that once you've mastered a task, you can offload it, take it off your plate, and then instantly you've got leverage back. Business is always a very fun game, and I think a lot of the time when we're stuck in it, it's hard to see things from an oversight. But when we look at things from an overview and a bird's eye perspective, we will always scale far quicker because we can see what's working and what's not.